I used to be a big, just wide back, just big.
Do y'all want to know if y'all have reached maximum big backness?
Okay, let's move on.
Hello everyone, so welcome to episode 2 of Becoming 20s podcast show. So for this episode, again, it's just going to be me, and I think next episode I'm going to have a guest. So yes, because this show I want to have not only me but also other people to talk about their experiences with what being 20s is like, or if they have advice for anyone that is, in their 20s and is sort of struggling. So the topic today I want to talk about is consistency versus motivation. And I know a lot of people struggle with this. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because yesterday I was at the gym and I really was not feeling much that day, and I almost didn't want to go, but then sometimes I had to realize that even though you're not really feeling it, you did end up going to the gym. So that's sort of progress sort of adds up to the ultimate goal. And back in the day, I would always feel demotivated whenever I would have a bad day at the gym. I'm just oh, I'm not feeling it today, so I'm probably just gonna skip out in the next day, and then that next day is gonna be it will continue on, carry over into the week, and then the week will carry over into months, and girl, I'm just gonna be laying down doing nothing, feeling sorry for myself, feeling hot garbage. But my point for today is not to, talk shit about myself, shit about my little rainy days, but I just want to talk about how important consistency is over motivation. So basically, consistency ultimately adds up to the goal that you have later in your life, right? So whether it be, let's say, the gym, well, for me, the easiest example I can think of is, the gym. And so I never used to look like this. I'm happy where I am now, but in my previous episode, I talked about how I was bullied and how my relationship with fitness was. But anyway, so I used to be a big, just wide back, just big, a big boy, basically, where I think, wait, let me try to think what was my weight. I think my weight was 75. I think it was 70, a good 75, 76, 77, give or take, on the bad day, 77. So after, I think I was 16, where I started really taking control of my weight and taking control of what I had to eat, right? And so my motivation was, okay, let me give you the tea. My motivation at first for working out was over a boy. But yes, never do anything for a boy, especially if it's about changing the way you look. Do not, because at the end of the day, let me tell you this. When I lost that weight, did he give me any more attention? No. You know why? Because he wasn't gay at all. He didn't man, that bitch that wanted pussy house boots. Anyways, and so, yes, I lost the weight 75 to 60. My lightest was 57, but I will get to that later. 57, where I think it was only in the span of 3 months, 75 down to 60, because oh girl, I said I needed to lose this weight fast and not so healthy. I mean, I never really thought of my ways as like I didn't have like a moral compass, like whether or not I was like eating good. Like I didn't care. As long as I was losing the weight, that was the ultimate goal. So in the end, I lost, what was it, like 15 kg in the span of 3 months. And at that point I like sort of like had like an eating disorder, trigger warning, eating disorder. But anyway, that's not the topic. The topic is consistency, right? Consistency is all about, I think consistency also falls in the umbrella of habitual behavior, because at this point, at this part of like my gym, my fitness, if I don't go to the gym, I will feel like utter doo-doo. You know what I mean? And I think consistency is developed through habits, in the sense that the more, like, it doesn't matter how like let's go back to the analogy, where the gym analogy. It doesn't matter how long you are at the gym, as long as you're in the gym doing something. Doesn't matter, a 10-minute treadmill or like a 2-hour workout, doesn't matter. As long as you're in there, it ultimately adds up, like I said, to the goal that you have later in your life. Like maybe let's say, oh look, I want to look better, I want to look good, I want to look fit by this time, right? And so yeah, and it didn't click for me until maybe 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, where motivation really is not going to stick with you for like a long time. Because for the longest of time, I've always relied on motivation. I've always relied on my feeling of wanting to go to the gym. So I've always waited that time where like I go, oh, today I feel really good, I feel like I'm gonna go, I feel like I'm gonna do good in the gym, and so I'm going to go to the gym. But in the end, it's all about like fighting through not wanting to go. Because what consistency also develops is good discipline. So whenever I don't feel like going to the gym, I always have to tell myself, just be there, even just 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, maybe not 5 minutes. I mean, okay, just go to the gym and see how you feel. Because most of the battle is like getting yourself ready and going to the gym itself. Whereas if you're actually in the gym, you'll slowly start to feel motivated. That's what I feel mostly is, for me. And so, yeah, the gym for me is now like my like second home. Like I'm always there. Like I'm not, physically like shredded or ripped, right? But it's just the state of mind, and it's like it's also, like I said, it's also about the what the hell did I just say just now? It's also about the discipline, right? The discipline, consistency. So consistency develops like good habits and a good mindset, because it's like fighting against, what you not wanting to do versus what you have to do, if that makes sense. And whereas motivation is like, for me, it usually takes me like, okay, so let's say if I were to completely run on motivation in terms of fitness, I'll only go to the gym like once or twice a week, which to some I understand is some people don't even have the luxury to go to the gym like 5-6 times a week. Some, if you're lucky, probably like 3 times a week. Like I understand that, but the difference between using the available time that you have as an excuse is a different thing. Because if you know that you can go despite of your busy schedule, I think you are definitely making excuses for yourself. And so like I'm going to sound like a little bit of a hater or whatever, but honestly, that's just how I think, because I think that's just how I think the place where I'm saying this from comes from me being in that mindset back in the day. How like after a long like busy day, I would still have time to squeeze in like, oh, maybe 45 minutes of like a body workout. I still wouldn't do it because I tell myself, oh, I wouldn't, if I do this, I wouldn't have time to do this, I wouldn't have time to do that. But ultimately I did have time, and so it's also like a mental battle, like motivation and consistency. It really like depends on which one you lean towards. I mean, like, okay, to be fair, if you don't have the motivation to do something, you won't end up having the consistency of doing. You won't be consistent in doing that one thing that you are motivated to do. So let's say another thing, like, I see a lot of wasted potential here because, like, and I understand, like, some things, some like the environment usually doesn't allow it, but if you want it bad enough, like, if there's one thing that my mother taught me, which she was supposed to be on today, but she had other things, she was double booked, but anyways, that's not the issue. The issue is she taught me that if you want it bad enough, you would make ends meet, or in other words, you'll make it happen regardless. And I believe in that, in the sense that, like, if you really want it, girl, you will go through hell just to get what you want. And I like resonated with that. And so, like, oh, sorry, I thought I heard something. Anyways, and so, where was I? Yes, because it's waste of potential. So basically, like, some people, they have the motivation to do something, but then it really hurts to see me that they are not consistent with it, and I'm not one to speak, because there are some times where I'm like not consistent in what I do, but it's more like how much it I feel like I'm not making sense here. Okay, how do I put it in other terms? I'm not one to talk because I can miss like a date in the gym, but it's more like whether or not you feel bad missing out. Does that make sense? So yes, it's like okay, let's this podcast, right? This podcast, my motivation to doing it is like, oh, I want to try different things, and let's see if I'll be consistent enough. Let's see if I'll be here next week. Let's see how long this will end up, and if I don't upload next week, or if I don't upload later on throughout the year, this this episode specifically is going to bite me in the ass. And so yes, I just wanted to like talk about that as well, where I feel bad for people who are unable to be consistent because of their situation. It doesn't matter what situation, as long as it's like, if you are unable to do something that you love because of let's say financial reasons, because of emotional reasons, physical or even mental reasons, I really do feel bad, because like I can put myself in those people's shoes where I want to pursue this path, but because of where I am now, I'm not able to during this period, because let's say, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have the capabilities or whatever. But then I guess this also goes back into the saying, if you want it bad enough, you you will make ends meet. And well, I was supposed to talk about it today, where especially in your 20s, try everything at least once. Because, you know, my mother, you know, she really is the personification of that saying, try everything at least once. Because girl, before where she was, before what she's doing now, she used to be a lot of things. And so I think that's why I'm doing this podcast, because, you know, if it sticks, and it sticks, you know, if it works out, then it works out. And also I want to broaden my portfolio, not in a sense of literal portfolio to give to a company to show, but it's more like to showcase my ability. Because I've always known that I was meant to, you know, be in entertainment. Like I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I have, you know, star quality. Do you have star quality? Do you have star quality? No, but I've always felt like I've had a calling for entertainment. And so, you know, oh my God, there's this one time where I wanted to pursue acting in, you know, the Philippines, but they just weren't, you know, accepting of people like me, like, you know, alt people. They're looking for people who are like normal people. I mean, like, granted, you know, I'm, you know, the home essential, but I think I just don't fit their image. And I think another inspiration, like a celebrity in that inspired me to sort of go against the grain, is my homegirl Hwasa from Mamamoo. Because, you know, when she was auditioning to, you know, debut, I think that's a story, to debut, she was rejected because she didn't fit the beauty standards. And what she said also really resonated with me. Like, if you don't fit the standard, create your own standard. And so, yeah, like, here I am. Like I said, if you want it bad enough, you'll make ends meet. And so here I am making a podcast, trying to enter. Oh shit. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Hello? Are y'all okay? Okay. So anyways, trying to make ends meet. Trying to be in entertainment, no matter like what way I do it, as long as it's, you know, consistently going towards like my goal, then, you know, so be it. If I have no followers, if I have no listeners by the end of this year, it doesn't matter, because at least I know I tried it. And if it didn't work, then it didn't work, you know. And so that's another thing where I find people lack here, especially in Macau. Oh, in Macau specifically, because, girl, for those of you who are not listening in Macau, oh no, no, that doesn't make sense. For those of you listening who don't live in Macau, girl, it is like utopia house down boots. Like, everything is here. It's so convenient. And it's like, you end up becoming, with a lack of a better term, you become lazy because you're so comfortable with where you are in, not in life, but it's more like where you are in as a situation. You know, you're living in Macau, you have a job that pays well, you have, you know, an apartment or whatever. But it's more like, I want to build something that goes beyond that. I mean, and I know, like, you know, some people are working towards, you know, leaving Macau, but I just find people being stuck here because they're too comfortable here. And like, I can't lie, like Macau does have, you know, its pros, a lot pros actually, a lot of money that they give out to the local people. But the thing is, like, once like you feel comfortable, like once you have like, oh, I don't want to say routine, but it's more like once you feel, like I said, lack of better terms, once you feel comfortable, girl, you will feel comfortable because like you just feel like you don't want to do anything because, you know, you feel like where you are at the moment is, you know, it's like, oh, you're living a good life, you know what I mean? And so for me, like, I can't lie, like I am comfortable where I am, but I've only started, you know, telling myself to be out of my comfort zone in the middle of last year because I had like this family trip that really changed my perspective on life and really changed my perspective on what I want to do. Because, you know when they say like, if you really want to know yourself, you travel the world. And if that's the one piece of advice that you take from this, is, girl, travel the world, because you don't know what the world has to, oh, better not shake it too much or else it will fall again. It's like you don't know what the world has to offer unless you go explore it. And to me, that trip changed my perspective on certain things, made me want to work harder, but not in the sense that like I have to work like, oh, a 9-to-5 job. Kudos to the people who are able to do that, because I am not able to work a 9-to-5, especially an office job. Oh, I really commend people who are able to stick that 9-to-5 job, but for me, oh, I could not. But anyways, it's like I want to, you know, like I said, I know I not have to be, but I know I am for entertainment, whether it be backstage or whether I'm the main lead or whatever. But I just know that have to be, like, I'm destined, like I just have this feeling where I have to be in an environment where, you know, magic's being created. And I think that's why I subconsciously took fashion design, is also because I know fashion design is somewhat in the entertainment industry in the very loose sense. But like, I've always wanted to contribute, if not be part of, you know, creating magic, whether it be clothes, whether it be like concept creating, or even set design or whatnot. I've always wanted to, you know, be in a field where I'm able to utilize my creativity. And when you're in Macau, girl, you are not able to be creative in your own sense, because, oh girl, I'm gonna talk some shit once right now, because I had this internship, right? I don't know if I should name names. Anyway, no, I'm going to name names, you know? Even though it's like burning bridges, but what, like, my time there was so doo-doo gaga shit. My internship at Indigo was so shit. I wanted to, like, I hated every second being in that internship. So this is, like, in context, this is an internship for my final year in university for fashion design, and to get my diploma, I needed a set amount of hours for my internship program. But anyways, I'm in this company called Indigo, and so, like, wow, like, let's just say that this company will use you the house, because I mean, like, granted, there are some people that are nice, but there is this one specific lady, like, wow, she is like so so shoe shining. Like, because I asked her one time, it was crazy. I asked her one time that, oh, how do you balance between, designing what you love versus designing what the market loves? And she basically told me like, oh, you sacrifice what you want to design over money. And I go, okay, like in a sense that sort of makes sense because Macau is such a money driven country. But you don't I truly, I firmly believe that you don't have to sacrifice your creative drive in order to make money. Because like I said, if you want it bad enough, you will make ends meet. And so I've, during my early time in that internship, I suggested, oh, why don't you expand your, market? Because their market is mainly to, people who are working, like the working class, right? Mainly for women, working class. And so I thought, okay, fine, sure, you'll gain a loyal customer base, but it's not sustainable. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong because they've been running for like 18 years, but I'm not sure if it's completely off of revenue. But anyways, where was I? Like I said, you don't have to sacrifice your creative drive in order to make money because, okay, so, oh yes, I know what I was saying. Sorry, I probably just repeated what the hell I said, but back to what I was saying. I suggested expanding the market to the younger demographic because nowadays our spending, not my spending power, but the younger demographic spending power, especially in Macau, because people here, the families here are rich. And so the spending power of the younger generation now is a lot stronger than it was before. And I've like pitched that to them, but they're just like, no, not really our market. And then in my mind, I'm just like, this is why your company is exactly where it is. And like, I appreciate the sense of the traditional approach, right? Like you don't, wait, what? You can't reinvent the wheel because it's already there, but you just gotta change it somehow. Like, damn, decorate the wheel at least. Like, you can't just be plain all the time. Like, the times are changing, right? And so at that time, I really like lost my hope, sadly, in the creative side of Macau because that was a harsh reality of how the creative industry is being treated in Macau. It's very, how do I say? It's very, they only want the money, And I guess, like I said, in a sense, you can, find it sustainable, but there will be a time that it's going to be hard for you to keep going forward. And let me continue my shit talking. This company, like, I was supposed to do, technical drawings and stuff like that, helping around the store, maybe even like helping design something. But no, you know what they asked me to do for the duration that I was there before I quit was they asked me to just cut fabric. And I'm just like, okay. And I even suggested, is there anywhere that I can help that isn't just cutting fabric? And they're like, oh yes, maybe you can help doing this and that. And when I ended up doing this and that, they go, can you please do that outside of your working hours? And I'm just like, outside of my working hours? Baby, if it's outside my working hours, I'm not doing anything outside my working hours. Like, you can call me like a shitty person for not doing something outside my working hours, but girl, I'm not getting paid first of all, I'm not getting paid to do whatever you're asking me to do, and you're asking me to do this outside of my working hours. No. But anyways, back to, you know, the moral of the story is for the creative people that are listening to this podcast, please do not trade your creative mind or creative drive for anything less than. Because I'm telling you right now, you're going to hate yourself. You're going to end up hating the industry that you originally loved. Like, you're going to start seeing it as like a job. You're going to start seeing it as a chore, and therefore you're going to lose the drive, the motivation to even continue on. And like I said, like, it's all about consistency, right? But it's not good if you're consistently bad. Like, in some sense, consistency and motivation have to work harmoniously. Because if you're motivated to do something because you love doing it, it will show consistently in your work or in the effort that you put in, right? So let's say if you love to draw, right? If you love to draw because if you love to draw because you like, if you just plain love it, like, it's also another thing is it's hard to find people doing something because they love it, like they truly love it, because at some point it's going to end up becoming like a job, you know what I mean? And I understand, like, make the hobby, like, make money out of the things that you love. Okay, fine, I understand that, but find something that you truly love, like completely out of your area of expertise, and keep it as a hobby. Because if there's one thing that I find that makes your life a little less sad and definitely more happy, is to always have a constant. And what that means is to always have something that you can go back on that makes you happy. And for me, it's graphic art. And I guess, like, originally I've wanted to go into concept art and concept designing, you know, illustration. And I've had this dream that I wanted to work for Riot, but judging where Riot is now, girl, they're firing so many people. No, thank you. Anyways, originally I wanted to get into concept designing, but I never really got the chance to because my portfolio wasn't as strong enough. And I think that was a blessing in disguise, because I feel if I had continued going to that route, I feel I'd be more burnt out and I wouldn't want to, you know, do graphic art later in the long run, because it's going to, you know, suck the soul out of me. And so, yeah, like I said, if you ever feel like down or sad or whatever, always have a constant in your life that will make you feel better, whether it be music, whether it be cooking, whether it be drawing. But like I said, for me, it's graphic art or just doing anything like drawing related, because I started at a really young age, and I've always associated, you know, art as a way to express my feminine energy. Because back in the day, like I said, I was being bullied in my first episode. In my first episode, I mentioned I was getting bullied. And so to make myself feel better, I would sort of draw mainly female figures, where, you know, they're wearing, you know, the skimpiest, the tightest dresses, because I felt, you know, I'm living my feminine life vicariously through those images. And I've always found myself that I am happier after drawing, because it's sort of like releasing the stresses, you know what I mean? And another thing for me that sort of makes me happier, or if I'm feeling down, this is what I do. I listen to music, but not music that makes you happy, but weirdly enough, music that makes you sad, if that makes sense. Like for me, if I listen to music, if I listen to sad music, especially while I'm sad, it makes me feel happier, because it's like, because as a Libra, we love to, you know, romanticize or even fantasize other situations. And so I end up, you know, fantasizing like, oh, I got my heart broken and stuff like that. I got my heart broken. My boyfriend just left me. My boyfriend, you know, cheated on me for another girl. And so I'm just like, okay, the fake sadness out-saddened my real sadness. Therefore, I am not sad anymore, and I am happy again. It's a bit weird, I know, but stay with me, right? So yes, have a constant in your life that will make you happier, because you never know when you're gonna need it, because you're gonna be at a point where you're gonna be so busy, you're not gonna have time to do anything. But as long as you have that constant, you're just gonna feel like, oh, everything is, you know, gonna be okay, everything's gonna be fine. But also it's like having that constant will also allow you to have like a sense of control in your life, because yeah, like I said, if you have that constant, if it's like, if everything is spiraling out of control, as long as you have that one thing to go back into, you'll feel okay. Because sometimes when my life is spiraling out of control, I tend to forget that I have, you know, like, oh, I can go back into drawing. Girl, I will like dye my hair. I will cut my own hair, girl. I will even have like bald spots. But that is a me problem. I don't know if it's like different for anybody else, but anyways, yes, I think. But anyways, yes. So consistency versus motivation. Like, wait. So yes, consistency versus motivation. I think that consistency is such a strong tool for you to use in any aspect of your life. But like I said, there has to be a form of motivation in order for you to consistently put effort into, let's say, a skill or whatever. And so yeah, so I think I will have shorter episodes from now on. I don't know, because I want to have shorter episodes, but also level it out with like editing, because I want it to be like a show. I don't want it to just be like me talking and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to end the episode here. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Defna Austin on Instagram. Yes, that's what I just said. So that's Defna Austin. That's DEFAUSTINNN. That's 3 N's. And I'm still thinking if I want to make a personal page for this podcast, but I think for now, I'm going to use my page. And yes, I don't know if I'll have a TikTok, but either way, yeah, see you guys next week.